All right. We all get tangled up here. Thank you. It's nice to be on stage actually performing some material that I've written because, like Anna said, I actually spend most of my time behind my computer writing erotic romantic comedy. And I love writing erotic comedy because sex is fun, but it's also very funny. Because there are noises, right? There are, you might be trying to do a striptease and you trip on your pants and you fall down. You get elbowed in the face. Or, you get jizz in the eye that knocks out your contact lens. And let me tell you, that hurts like a motherfucker, okay? Because that stuff travels, I looked this up, at 45 kilometers an hour, okay? That's just less than the suburban speed limit. I mean, it's no wonder they ask us to slow down in a school zone because it hurts to get hit at that speed. So guys, you gotta relieve that pressure because you could really hurt someone. So safety first, people, okay? Safety first. But, even when you have little mishaps, okay, like in life or, with your sex life, if you have the right partner or partners, you can laugh about these things. You can get through them. It can be fun. You can laugh with each other, maybe not at each, oh, maybe at each other because it's kind of funny sometimes. But, so one time I was helping my partner unclog his pipes, and that's not a euphemism because we were actually trying to unclog a sink drain, and I was extolling my wisdom on the subject because I'd had this happen in my own house not too long before that. But for some reason I felt I needed to give the disclaimer that, I didn't want to sound like a know-it-all, right? And, he very tenderly takes my face in his hands and he looks me in the eyes and he says, "Oh, you could never come across that way." And I stared back into his eyes, into his very soul, and I said, "Oh, but I could." Because this was the moment that I wondered if I should reveal my deepest, darkest secret, that I have the ability to turn into the incredible, raging cunt. Not a lie. I don't turn green, I turn a fetching shade of pink that brings out the color in my eyes. But it's true. Even my author tagline, it says sweet and sassy, but dear God, it is so much effort to be sweet and polite because I would rather blurt out the first thing that comes to my mind when I'm talking to people. But I don't always. I filter it. And why? Why do we filter it? Well, I remember being a child, maybe you remember, and even when you tell the truth, right? People say, "Oh, that's not a nice thing to say." Or somebody goes, "Oh, that's not very polite." And we learn to filter what we say to make it more palatable to the person that we're talking to. And we forget what it's like just to have a direct conversation. And I get it. I mean, they say you can catch more flies with honey, but sometimes I think a good smack with a fly swatter does the trick even better. So I'm on another life expedition with my partner. This time we're traveling out to an impound lot to retrieve items from his father's car. His father, short story, his father was in a really bad car accident. The car was totaled and his father's gonna be fine, but we had to get the rest of his belongings out. So we show up, go to the office, get our orange safety vests on, and they tell us in no uncertain terms that we cannot damage the car any more than it already has been. Which makes the pickaxe and the crowbars that we brought with us completely useless. So my raging cunt is just simmering below the surface. I'm trying to remain polite because I want to get the job done. So finally, we're told we can go and do this, and for about 30 minutes, we're working, trying to break into this trunk that by all accounts is not meant to be broken into, and I snap. And I turn into the incredible raging cunt, and I morph right there on the spot. I hop up into the trunk of the car, like fucking Neo from the Matrix, just and then I jam the crowbar between the window and the back seat, and I start reefing on it. And I'm oblivious to everything that's going on around me. Okay, because number one, my partner has stopped working. And in all fairness, if the woman I loved turned into a raging beast armed with a crowbar and began muttering about how this is now her mission, I'd probably take a step or two back myself. The other thing is that there are security cameras watching my every move, so this must have been quite a show, because they sent somebody out to talk to me and tell me that I had to get down, which I refused. And then he starts going on about how I'm a liability being up there, and I thought, this is not the craziest shit that I've ever done, but give me a couple drinks and I'll show you what I can do. But the politeness seeps back in a little bit into the moment, and I only agree if he will help us finish what we came here to do. So he does, and he brings back some tools, and in 5 minutes, he's got the job done. I crawl in, get the stuff, and we're out. And as we're back in the office returning the vests, I notice that everyone is looking at me funny. And I'm ridiculously proud of two things, okay? Number one is that I have provided them with office gossip and entertainment with that security footage for months to come, okay? The second thing is that incredible raging cunts know how to get shit done, okay? They do. So I urge you, the next time that you're with your loved ones, just morph in front of them. Show them who you really are. Because it's all fun and games until you get jizz in the eye, and they deserve to know who's gonna show up to clean that shit up, okay? Thank you very much.